Well, why your sales calls don't end in sales. So if you're a leader, speaker, or coach, all of y'all should be authors. That could be discussing your speaking fee with a client. That could be talking about a consulting package with a potential prospect. As a leader, it could be buy-in from your team, or you can pass this on to your team if they are talking directly to customers, even if they don't have sales in their title. Right? So I'm talking marketers, I'm talking the customer success team. If they're talking to clients, this training is for you. So why? And we're going to keep it under 10 minutes. That's for me. What I've done is I've already created a course on step by step on how to turn conversations into clients. What I realized though, if you don't have sales in your title, I've had a lot of people skip over the training. It's okay. It doesn't hurt my feelings, but there's some folks that are missing out on some valuable information, some valuable tools to help them grow in their life or business. So let's start at the very beginning. One of the biggest things we run into when we talk about sales is they look at it as a bad word. I'm gonna have to do this every time, but let's move. That's the first thing I run into. That's the first problem I see. People look at sales as a bad thing because they look at it as taking, they look at it as manipulating, they look at it as tricking or coercing someone to make a decision. What really should happen is looking at sales as an exchange. This is where the conversation comes in because a conversation has two sides. A lot of people get stuck on the sharing part. They do all the talking part and they call it selling. And then they wonder why they're not hearing yes. Or this is something I'm big on. Okay, they told you yes just because you were being a bully. And then you get a charge back. They cancel, right? Your retention is terrible. And we'll talk about the service side of sales. One of my first trainings. Oh man, it was awful. The slides were boring. Might have been typos. The audio was worse. But I did a training called Sales is Customer Service, and Customer Service is Sales. I might have to dig it up and find it. Somebody remind me. But they were so busy doing all the telling, thinking they were selling. Oh, going backwards. They didn't realize that sales is an exchange. An exchange of what? It's an exchange of value. And that's what this channel is. It's value first, and the exchange is your time and attention. So as long as I'm adding value, you'll give you time and attention. That's a good exchange. That's a sale. And oh, I'm getting off topic, but this is so important. I want you all to get this. Selling really doesn't have anything to do with money. Money is just a byproduct of a successful sale. That's a conversation for another day. So let's get back to this exchange. Listening. There's 5 skills I teach over and over and over again. And those 5 skills are anyone can use, anyone can do. It's listening, it's learning, it's communication, it's confidence. Yes, confidence is a skill, and sales. Sales is a skill. It doesn't matter how old you are, young you are, your gender, extrovert, introvert. If you learn that sales is an exchange, you could wake up in the morning, ask yourself, what can I exchange of value for something of value? Now, if you're a business, that could be money. It could be revenue, right? Let's not overcomplicate it. But and when I go back to customer success managers, because I love working with them, they don't realize that they're a sales team because there's not always a dollar amount attached to their activity. But when you have a conversation, there's an exchange happening. And they say, well, Bruce, the only reason they're having a conversation is because that they're a client because they paid us. That is only a part of the truth. Why do they stay a customer? What do we have to do to create an environment where they tell other people they should be customers too? Like, hey, come over here. They're amazing. And it happens with this exchange. let's switch colors real quick. Did a video a couple days ago, should be up, on asking better questions. If you can listen, you can sell. If you can listen, you can turn more of your conversations into clients. Most people do all the talking. That's why extroverts are terrible at sales. And introverts are great. They just don't know it because they're better at listening. So go watch the training on asking better questions and the types of questions. Now, a conversation should be 80% of you listening, only 20% of you talking. That's tip number one. Don't do all the talking. Do most of the listening. The second, and maybe we should put this one first, but here we are. Is this person my ideal client? Should I even be talking to them? Do they have the power to tell me yes? Do they have a problem I can solve? How do we know? The answer to the questions we listen. And then number three is a simple next step. That's how we can turn more conversations into clients. And I walk through, I call it the question path, and it's an order of questions that helps you turn a conversation with the right person into a client. But the reason you may be struggling now is you may not be having enough conversations. You may not be talking to enough people. If you talk to one person, only one person can tell you yes. If you figure out how to talk to one person and 10 people tell you yes, sign me up. I'm in. And actually, I talk about, well, that's a whole nother, man, there's so many great videos playing for you all. I could literally do a video every day for a year. I've, I've, I've really had quite an adventure of a life. I'm excited to bring you along for the journey. So that's one thing I talk about in hearing yes more often is just talking to more people. Give more people a chance to tell you yes. But okay, you're talking to someone. How do we improve our chances of them becoming a client? Make sure you're talking to the right person. And then spend most of your time here listening. Once you understand what their problem is, offer the exchange. Say, hey, listen, I'll help you get rid of this problem or achieve a goal in exchange for one, two, three. And that's where that simple next steps comes in. So we spend our time listening, talking to the right person. And we offer a simple next step. Hey, listen, based on what you told me, you're here and you want to be there. I can help you get there. Would you like to work with me? That's why I really don't like to call myself a sales trainer. I'm not going to teach you to be the killer closer or the master manipulator. I want you to be you that hears yes more often. I want you that has clients happy to work with you and stay working with you. I want you to be someone that can look in the mirror and smile. I mean, I like who I am. I like who I've become. I like who I'm growing to be. Yes, who I'm growing to be. That's why I created New Skills, New You. I believe fundamentally that one new skill will change your life. So listening is a skill. And listening lets you know, it helps you to understand where the exchange has to happen, what they're willing to exchange, how important is whatever you listen to. So let's say, listen, I'm willing to trade you my hard earned money so I can get this result. And what's funny is, then the sale happens. Let's just say the sale happens here, the money happens afterwards. I don't even like to call it sales training because there's plenty of sales training. And if you have sales in your title, I can recommend some people that are good. But if you're a speaker, you're a coach, you're a leader, you really don't need to learn closing techniques. You really don't need, I could teach you those, right? You really don't need to learn call structures. We have to put you in a position where you're growing who you are, who your team is, so that the business grows as a result. We have to put you in a position where you're hearing yes more often without sounding salesy. And that looks different for different people. Once you work on you, then it becomes much easier to work on everything else. Those are 3 steps that you can turn more conversations into clients. So now that your sales calls turn into sales, all right? So learn to listen, make sure you're talking to the right person, and make the next step simple. All right. I'm Bruce Hill, new skills, new you. One new skill will change your life. So we're helping you hear yes more often without sounding salesy by focusing on your personal and professional development. We'll see you on the next video.